family has a child that's in need, for instance, like I know our second grade girls class is like busting out of the seams, but there is a second grade girl who you know that could use a referral for tutoring. If the family is willing to have her, you know, work downstairs with the first graders or something like that, we're able to, you know, to work around that. We don't have a real tight rule per se of how the tutoring goes. And our tutoring program, as Claire mentioned, is also supported by UVA students through Madison House. And they do build some life-lasting relationships. Their relationships with our students go beyond tutoring. So, yes,
how many students do you have approximately?
I would say it's probably about 30 that rotate in.
Any other questions? Thank you. Thank you.
So, I have to, this is something that's being impressed upon me, but coming in here to meet Tracy and looking at the pictures on the tree there, you see lots of smiling faces, and it is very suggestive of family, and many of our Johnson kids are there. And so I'm excited about hearing about these programs and creating dialogue and awareness of each other, because we're really, truly, as Ruth said, working for the well-being of the children who have the same goal in mind.
May I add, one of the questions that the young lady asked was about cross-communication between the tutoring programs or whatever programs in the schools. And we do have release forms for most of the families that we serve. And for some reason, if we don't, we can ask the family for a release. Tracking grades and being able to talk to teachers and talk with guidance and talk with the principal about things that are going on is something that we are able to do and that we do with a lot of our families. So we do have release forms, and we're able to share that information.
So Nurse Moon has graciously spearheaded another yard sale for May 12th. Everybody's got them, but everybody wants to review the information. It's May 12th, and so the way it's going to be set up is you can rent a table for $10 a table, and I guess you can choose how you use your proceeds, right? So you have access to your own proceeds, but the rental of the table goes to Johnson PTO, or you can choose to donate your proceeds. So it's going to be fun community event. I think she wants to bring in members from the from Johnson Village and just make it a big fun morning and sell hot dogs, and just hopefully it'll be beautiful and just a great fun way to spend the morning. Get your kids. I think my daughter wants to do like a bake sale table, and you know, so it's a great way to integrate your kids and get them doing stuff, and they can price their little toys. And so I hope everybody just wants to be involved. There's specific volunteer needs that she has. Setting up tables will probably be pretty early. She wants to get going by about 7, so you guys can early riser can set up and then help take down at the end. Probably will have a donation day. We'll email more about this, but have like a drop-off day, maybe Thursday, where people can bring some things who aren't going to participate, and then we can help price. So we'll have a maybe event to do that, to price items. Anybody wants to sell hot dogs? I think we have a hot dog machine. Is that right?
We have like a little eating
little dinky thing that spins, you know. But so we can sell hot dogs and
rollers.
I don't think it's that.
We'll hot dogs and then steam them up. Yeah. But you know, we could just we've got little bottles of water, and just we can sky's the limit of things we could do at the yard sale. So and I think she's going to arrangements to have some tables brought in from Buford, and then we'll have arrangements for people who will be sure to pick up things at the end. But pencil that into your calendar and make well. And another great, you know, we've done a great year of fundraising this year, and so it'll be fun to create the budget next year and have some wonderful enrichment activities for the kids. So
Yes. And so I don't want to pass up this opportunity. If anyone's really interested in this and wants to kind of help coordinate and facilitate communication about it and planning, not that you would have to shoulder all of the responsibility, but please feel free to speak to me and Molly.
What about getting DJ Bubbles? DJ Bubbles would be
All our Percy's,
Oh yeah, that's
we
true.
could have Mr. Price though. We could have some DJs without the bubbles.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
DJ Price.
Free bubbles. And then
What do you like to blow bubbles in the back?
With a gigantic iPod.
All right, this is not on the agenda, but it really should have been because it's a big part of our community and I think a growing tradition. April Hoffman and Leslie Scally are helping to organize our International Day.
Yeah, I'm coming up here so you don't have to crook your neck.
Okay.
Well, two things I wanted to say. One, on May 12th, the same day as the yard sale, there is the Festival of Cultures, which is down at Lee Park, downtown. And so if you haven't been there, you should go to the yard sale, and then you should go down to the Festival of Cultures.
What time is it?
I don't know what time it starts, but it's usually in the morning. In the past, we've done Readers Theater with some of our ESL students. We've acted out a play on the main stage this year. I just did not have it in me to do it, so we're not doing it this year. But June 6th is a Wednesday, and that is our International Festival at Johnson. And we have done it for the past 2 years, and each year we kind of add a little bit more. But we have over 20 countries that are represented at Johnson. And I know I see a couple of our ESL families here, Blewa and Salima from Tanzania, and also Blewa from Burma. So if you know anybody who would like to perform a dance or musical instruments, what we want to add this year is a performance part of it. In the past, what we've done is just have trifold boards in the cafeteria, and the kids invite their parents to come, and the parents make food from their country. And we really wanted to keep it during the day so that all of the kids could be there, so that they can just understand the culture that is around them and really create some, what's the word I'm looking for? Like appreciation, thank you, for diversity. So we created passports, and the kids go around and get their passport stamped at the different countries. And we had music. I mean, I'm trying to think what else. We dressed up in our traditional outfits. So if you know anyone who would like to perform, what we would like to do is add a performance part to it, an assembly during the day, I think. We were saying maybe at the night, but the teachers are just exhausted by June 6th. Yeah. So I don't think they're going to want to come to another event. It's just a lot. So I think if we could keep it during the day and we want to ask around and see if you can find anyone that would be interested, that would be great. And you can contact me or Adrian or Leslie Scally.
It is really amazing. I mean, I just have to say that it is incredibly, incredibly fabulous, and it's something to behold, definitely. I mean, she does a great job. The kids are beautiful.
The kids love it.
The kids love it.
It's crazy.
And the other thing is that we try to make sure we, I think last year too we did the United States, so it wasn't just you come from a different country. I mean, it's just appreciation for all cultures, and it's just phenomenal. It's probably top 5 days of my life. So I just want to tell you, when you stand in the cafeteria and you see all those different cultures come together as one, it's just amazing. So,
And we've even had students who maybe are from the United States, but they're interested in a different country, and they've done the board as
suggested
well.
doing boards, yeah. And actually, if you have, if your grandparents come from another country, we've had our students do that country. So it doesn't have to be, first generation at all. So anyway, but you can email me, April Hoffman at PCS.
What is the limitation for parents who aren't directly involved with?
Oh, good question. Yeah, so 2 years ago we started, we didn't open it up to all parents because we didn't know what it was going to be like. We were kind of like, ooh, this is our first time doing it. Then we realized how successful it was, and we said last year, I think we sent a flyer home to let parents know. So a lot of parents came, it was a good turnout, and but we would love parent
So parents would
involvement.
want them to come.
Yes,
Or they
and
want kids to come.
yes, and I just realized something too. Last year we had donations from 3 different restaurants. I think we paid to get some food from some restaurants in addition to food from the families that they cooked. So if you have any connections to any restaurants in town that could donate some food, that'd be great too. And if you want to volunteer the morning of to help serve food, you know, to help kids stamp passports and maintain peace and order, or any of that.
Or even if like my class last year when we had to leave to go back to class because our time was over, just someone to stand at our booth or our table while my class goes back to class.
Yeah,
So-
because we do it in half-hour increments, so like a half an hour for kindergarten to tour around, and then a half an hour for first grade to do it. And you know, the older kids stay for most of the day, but the younger kids only stay for a little bit. So, yeah. So anyway, if you want to get involved, just let me know. Okay. Thanks, April.
Okay, we've got a lot still to squeeze in, but very important coming up. Doris, do you mind speaking briefly to the spring picnic? Thank you. Doris has some great ideas.
I guess I'll come up here. Well, spring picnic planning is underway, and I mean, really before I go into anything, I just want to really encourage anyone that wants to contribute ideas or plans to make this event really exciting to do so, because I want it to be something that, you know, maybe add a different twist or something to the spring picnic. I would like to see the community come together more and see families that aren't always present to come out. And I mentioned at the last PTO meeting that I would love to have our kids and families, parents intermingle and play games together. So I'd like to encourage the families to be part of the games that we've had set up. I won't really go into much of the detail because I know that we don't have a lot of time, but we've partnering up with the PB&J Fund, so we have to implement the nutritional message into this picnic, which is not a bad thing because they're going to provide the food. We don't know yet what the menu is.
Ask for the coleslaw.
The coleslaw?
So good. I'm making note. I can send you an email.
Okay, the coleslaw. So we're going to incorporate that message into the games that we're playing. And I've spoken with Mr. Price, and he's going to be DJing and playing some music that night. And then I've been in touch with Chicho Lorenzo, who is he's the artist behind the mural at Venable, and then he's doing the Walker mural as well. And he's going to come out and kind of participate or lead a drum circle for the kids to kind of, that would be another parent. I don't know who it was at the last PTO meeting, so that would be kind of cool for African American Heritage Night. And this would be something we can try it out and see if the kids participate and kind of encourage them. He calls it Rhythm and Love. So I have a sign-up sheet actually, and if you want to participate or volunteer in under games or food or setup and cleanup, and then I have a wherever needed. You know, if you just I don't know. I'm not sure. We have to still finalize the details. But it's going to be May 24th from 5:30 to 7:30. And yeah, please. I mean, this is not just my thing. Or if anyone wants to shoot down any ideas I have or add to them, please do so.
I just have a thought, just to try to think of ways to bring other people in that maybe don't get to come to Johnson. I didn't know if through Abundant Life or through another program,
too.
is if even if we could have a bus or a shuttle that would, kind of, pick people up at Forest Hills, make a pickup here, and just, just bring more people out to the school.
And I'm sure, I mean, I have a minivan, and I know that there's lots of moms that go to Johnson that have minivans, and Charlottesville's so small that we can drive 5 minutes out of our way to come and get kids. My daughter did Girls on the Run, and we would do that, and give the girls rides. So that's totally possible. I mean, that could even be part of the volunteer assignment, is to give kids rides.
Or it might be helpful to let your child's teacher know, because I know that our kids, Miss Williams, can you pick me up? Can you pick me up? Well, I can only look at carrying 4 people in my car, So if I knew what parents were willing to carpool, then that would be great for me to reach out to them.
One quick observation, the best parents are not concerned when the kids are on stage doing something. So if we can finagle something so that the kids are performing, parents tend to show up.
That's true.
Maybe we could have Miss Tobin do a song, and we could have him sing at like a certain
Maybe
time.
one song, and then the rest
I
of
wonder
the
if we could use that little amphitheater that's outside on the side. I mean, it's not directly behind. I mean, we have to talk to her. But yeah, that is true. I mean, there's going to be food brings people together. I think anyway.
Yeah, the fall festival is great.
You know,
I think if we tell the third grade girls during recess, you know, to come up with a dance, I'm sure that they can come up with something.
I mean, you only have 2 hours to squeeze everything in, but I think that the idea is to have different stations where everyone can kind of rotate. And another thought was that maybe they try to have a demonstration of the food. Maybe the kids can be a part of the demonstration and learn to, I don't know, pass the beans or something.
Thank you, Doris.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to reiterate, what Doris is doing is trying to facilitate a homegrown event. So this is not, you know, please, all your ideas are great, but please get in touch with me or with Doris and you'll hear from us. And we have one more PTO meeting to go before the actual event. So.
Yeah. Just one more.
Thank you.
So part, I'm trying to do this quickly, so part of what Adrian and I tried to do this year, and the other officers in the PTO, is to really help create, you know, a financially sound PTO for the future, and really focus our spending on enrichment for the kids in the community, and on specifically academic and creative things. And so it's been a little bit of a shift this year, and we're trying to really get the, and I think things are falling into place. But one of the things we've had to do is try to think, when we get requests that come in, is to kind of think, okay, how can we spend the PTO's money that everybody works so hard to raise the most efficiently? And so that's why we've had to drive to the wipes and that kind of thing, and that's worked out great, and parents have been wonderful in contributing. But one big expense that we've had at the end of the year, every year, is SOL snacks. When the kids are prepping for SOLs, they give them little drinks and pretzels and things like that throughout the day to keep them going, mint gum, and so that's been a pretty substantial expense. And so we just thought we'd put our heads together and say, how can we be creative, number one, for healthier options rather than just prepackaged food, and also more economical. So, like we bought water, we got it at a great price and saved tons of money on water bottles. But we were thinking about just having some parents get together and packaging, individually packaging snacks with some healthy Triscuits and all, some healthier options. So if anybody wants to help with that, please let us know. We'll just get together. We got a hand? We got a hand?
That wasn't my volunteer.
We saw it. Volunteers on you.
To be critical, that is what I do.
Yeah.
No, but have you packaged out the price of breaking down and packaging food yourself versus doing, I know that you get those gigantic, 60-ounce boxes of goldfish for $10, as opposed to buying little packages.
Exactly, much more expensive.
So much more, but I
don't run my house that efficiently, but Adrian and Emily do. Thank goodness for that. And I want them to come run my house because I say, well, no, but they package, they know these things, so they say it's much cheaper, and I trust them. So
not with Triscuits, I don't think, but
okay, well, goldfish, I bet it is. Yeah.
Goldfish.
I wonder if through the cooking class that Anita leads, the kids could cook the granola bars.
Did that last year.
Yes, last year.
Yeah. That will happen again this year.
Yeah, right. Amelia's already stepped up. So, we're open to doing it, but if anybody wants to step in, and we think it could go pretty quickly, have a nice little evening, and stuff goldfish in bags, and healthier and less expensive. We have more money to spend on great things for the kids.
Do you have, how many snacks are we talking about?
300.
All right.
We have 2 volunteers, Lisa and Rob.
I'm being critical. I'm not grandparent.
My question was, if we're already...
Third volunteer.
You have alcohol.
Fourth.
I can drink and
That's what I'm doing.
That's going on the notes.
Okay, so it's your question about fresh vegetables and how, okay.
Well, if they're already being provided, why are we putting energy and money into packaged goods?
Right, and that's a really good question. I don't know, I haven't had a child who's done through, who's
I mean,
gone
I
through
can get,
SOL yet,
I
but
can
it's
say a
very
little something
early
to it, but I know like today we got cucumbers, each kid got 4 slices, and that's all. And it's an afternoon snack, at least for 3rd graders, and we take all of our SOLs in the morning.
Well, we do have bananas coming from Alicia Koss, like we
Okay.
did last year, so they will have a banana for every student for
Okay.
most SOL tests. And I mean, I've confirmed
And I
that.
think that there, yeah, in addition to that, I guess Vern still has a little bit of funds, and he's gonna, they are gonna have some, but I think it's over a period of time, right? I mean, and so I think they are gonna have some bananas, and is there something else from?
There might possibly be from some fruit trays, but she wasn't sure at the time that we talked about it, so.
Yeah.
So I think the question is valid, and it's one that I have, like, you know, the kids have lunch at school, they have breakfast at school, so is there anything that you could speak to about why there's gum and the?
Okay, well, so mint gum has been shown by research to stimulate brain activity. And you have, some of our SOL tests can take all day long. And I mean literally, the students will start at 8:30, they will break 30 minutes for lunch, and the test may take them until 2:45. So we need something to keep them going throughout the day. You know, you know, we don't give candy anymore. That is something that we used to do, but you know, we don't do that. But gum is a reasonable alternative. In addition, you know, when we offer one snack, that being bananas, not every child may want a banana. They may not, you know, that may not be part of what their, you know, palate attends to, and so we feel that having an alternative snack as well certainly can't hurt.
And it's just for, is it 2 weeks long, or just 1 week? Two. So
It's
three-
spread across
that's the
actually,
day
it's
for
actually
2 weeks.
across 3 weeks.
So
all the
that's the
tests,
day
yeah.
for 3 weeks.
4th graders have 3 days of testing.
4th graders
and
have 2,
3rd graders have 5 days.
300 total.
300 total.
You're talking about 300 per day snacks.
It's a day.
A day?
No.
Total.
All totals.
Yeah, okay.
Because we've got 5 big testing days.
And then,
All right, so just so you all know, what's going through my mind right now is that we need to be out of here at 7:30. These are really important conversations to be having, and I want to honor everybody's questions. And we still have the transition ahead to address as much as we can. So
We haven't totaled that.
no,
I was like, I think we're doing the okay, we're talking. You're right. Y'all, let's really quickly transition. Do you want me to do it? Y'all, so this is obviously so important about the principal transition. You can fill out, you have more details, but the key is that Rosa Atkins is going to come. She's very gracious. We met with her this morning and was more than happy to come tonight, but we thought we had so much to talk about that a separate meeting would be most helpful, and so she was happy to do that. She's coming at 6:30 on Monday to Johnson, and you know, we'll try to keep it to an hour, but it's going to be nice to have that space. The basic gist is that they've already started advertising for the position. It should be out for about 2 weeks, 1.5 to 2 weeks. It'll go in the big database, which throughout Virginia, but people from all over will read it. So the applications could come from anywhere. This is a big time for advertising apparently, so she expects a lot of applicants. And then there'll be a committee that's made up of parents, teachers, and administration.
human resources.
Human resources, yeah. That will go through the applicants and weed them down. And then it'll be narrowed down to 3. And so there'll be a big community forum that's wide open to the whole school. There is anything?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so there'll be a big thing, you know, in the Johnson Auditorium where 3 candidates will be up on the stage and the community will be free to ask questions.
So you'll go one at a time?
Questions will be
Yeah.
invited on
Right,
index
but
cards.
it's all in one evening.
Oh, okay, so they rotate through.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And so, yeah, so you can ask questions on index cards, and then ultimately you write down your preferences. You rate 1, 2, 3, how you prefer, who you would prefer to be selected. And then the final decision goes to Dr. Atkins. So we're hoping for lots of wonderful applicants. I get the sense that she understands Johnson, that she knows that Johnson is a special place, and it's in a great place in its journey right now, and she wants to sustain that momentum. I think she recognizes the great diversity of the school and wants somebody who understands that, and will appreciate that. my sense was she got it. You know, I mean, that she gets the needs of the schools, and she's very open. You know, you can always write letters to her and to the school board and to any offers here right now, to expressing what your concerns are and what your hopes and dreams are for the school and for its leadership. And I think she hears those things.
Yeah. So yeah, we met with her for about 45 minutes, and fortunately, this community obviously really cares about the students. We're all, many of us are deeply invested in this transition going well and benefiting the school ultimately, which is always kind of an unknown when there's a significant change. So I really appreciate that many of you have been talking to me and to Molly and around to each other, and that kind of dialogue helps Molly and me to go into meetings like that prepared, able to take advantage of the opportunity to express things that we're hearing from our community, desires that we have, and to come back with answers to your questions. So one thing that you brought up, Lisa, is a kind of evaluation assessment at this point, it being a fruitful time to do that. And so I would just like to invite anybody to email me or Molly, and while we may not have time to cover everything on Monday with Dr. Atkins, there may be questions that are overwhelming or concerns that are overwhelming, or maybe even not. And I'm happy to type those up and provide them to Dr. Atkins in writing, so that, or to have that on hand, so that we're sure that those items come up in the meeting. Was that kind of an answer to your question, Lisa? Yeah. At this point, yeah.
Boys, one at a time.
Lisa?
Yeah, I guess for me, and maybe, like I said, I know change happens and change is happening. It just sounded kind of very impersonal to me as a parent to get a phone call saying some automated voice from the central office. Hello, Mr. Bach is gone next year. Good evening, quick, you know.
Yeah, right.
And it's like your boyfriend breaks up with you over voice. You know, it's kind of like we are family, and you know, okay, Miss Greenwood's gone, okay, thank you, you know, and it's kind of like some processing, you know. I mean, I went to Johnson, I had Mr. King back decades ago, and I came back and feeling so good about the progress and all the recognitions, and it's just very detached the way the news came. It's like, okay, click.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because that you're not alone in feeling that way, and I would say that there's some like extreme betrayal to, just bewilderment, and with the announcement and the kind of impersonal nature of it, when it really kind of fundamentally affects our lives and the lives of our children. That's something that we brought up, and that the result is that Dr. Atkins is coming to be with us on Monday. And she explained that there's a timing, and you have to be sensitive to the timing and changing positions and announcing to who, what, when, and word of mouth, creating distortions and stuff like that. So there were some logistics that they had to work out, and that was kind of the best arrangement that she could think of. But I did convey that to her, and I agree. Any other comments?
As shocked as you were.
Yeah, teachers come out on Friday afternoon, so they're pretty much simultaneous. Graham?
One is, I'd really like to know in writing what their criteria are for a new principal and the order of those criteria. Because when we are considering a candidate, we need to know what their criteria are so that we can put forward our argument for the best candidate.
It's on the Charlottesville City Schools website. You can go under like career opportunities, and you can look at the job description for any position, including principal. So check that out.
And I guess I'm thinking even beyond job description of
Specifically.
Decision maker, right? Like I hire and fire people, I have criteria by which I have to choose between people, and they have to be written when you do that in a committee. So I want to know what
I'm not sure she
criteria
would
are.
even share those with you if she knew what they were. I really feel like her decision-making process seems to be based a lot on individual candidates that come to her, and so even if, like I know what my priority, and that was one of the reasons why I thought it's so important to have that assessment data to be able to say, as a community, we value this, and we want a person that can do this. I think her evaluation needs are different from what we want, which is why I thought it was important for us all to get together Or just to say, well, what are some strengths and weaknesses, and we can present those to her and say, this is what we as a community prioritize.
I agree, and so having our list of criteria and hers, then we can match
See
them
what
up.
meshes up,
Yes.
so we can always ask her. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, she presented to us as a good listener.
Oh, yes.
And
She's very
so-
good listener.
How that plays out, I don't know, but